Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
Welcome to the Championship Highlights.
Yeah.
Bolton vs Norwich, sponsored by Drum and Drummer. Georgie boy.
All right.
Well... yeah, it's a delicate week.
Yeah.
A delicate. I've not had a good week. Let's be honest. And I think, what I thought about doing is just kind of almost like a statement, but then I don't want to dwell on it too much in this episode. But I basically say, unexpectedly, my dad passed away last week. So, as you can probably imagine, it's all been a bit of a surreal whirlwind of everything. So I just kind of wanted to say that, but I don't really want to, at the moment, go into any detail or further conversation about it. So yeah, it's been very tough, but it's now your job to distract me and entertain the listeners.
I can do that for the next 29 minutes. Well, what do you want to... Shall I leave it there and as you said, we'll talk about it more it's all up to you. But shall I...
It doesn't feel, for some reason,
it
doesn't feel right. It's only been it's been less than a week, and there's so much going on. There's so much you have to do.
Yeah, it's
quite overwhelming, even just on a logistical scale. And so, I think it feels a bit too soon to discuss what happened openly now. I think at some point I will, because there's a lot of people I want to praise, emergency services, things like that, and friends and family and stuff. But I think we'll save it for another time.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to?
Right. Well, let's just dive in. Last week, I was in London.
The big smoke.
The big smoke. 5 days in a row.
The capital.
London.
Yeah. Lily Allen.
Landan.
Yeah.
And then a few more N's. Landan.
What's your favourite part of London?
Good question. Well, do you know what? Since being there, Regent's Park was quite nice.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Take that. Yeah.
But that's just because it was the first time I went there.
Okay.
I wasn't just in Regent's Park.
No. What were you doing? What are you doing in London? What's going on? What's going on?
By accident. Usually, you've been up to London a few times.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Well, recently,
yeah.
And you'll sort of say, God, I've got to go up to London 6 times this month. And we'll be like, that is a lot.
It is a lot.
So I had to do 5 times in a row consecutively. So let me run you through.
Okay,
Tuesday,
so this was 5-day trips.
5-day trips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a lot,
Yeah.
There was one night where I stayed in London. And we'll get to all that.
We'll get to all of it.
Yeah. Tuesday is where it started. I went to see Greta Van Fleet at Wembley Arena.
Okay.
Have you heard of them, first of all?
I've not, no.
So let me explain to you Greta Van Fleet. When they came out, they were
It's a band.
It's a band.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not an old woman, but they are named after an old woman.
Okay.
So that's why it sounds like an old woman's name, because it is. It was Wembley Arena. And when they started, they were sort of like a Led Zeppelin rip-off. And it's basically Spinal Tap You know, it's so over the top. You know,
on purpose to be funny, or
well, I think
is it sincerely, but it just comes across.
I think they do it so much that people are like, oh, they're for real with this.
Okay.
You know, so there's fire and there's explosions, and they're dressed in like leather and like white leather and shit like that, and just songs about heaven and earth, and I don't know what, it's like if you were to do a parody rock band, but it's for real, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me tell you this. So think about if you were doing a function band set and someone goes, right, you've got to do 2 hours. How many songs would you do?
We normally do like 34.
There you go, 34. They were on stage for 2.5 hours and they did 14 songs.
Right, long songs.
First question.
I've done the math. Long songs.
No, it's not just that. Partly that, but also they'll just start jamming. So at one point, the lead singer ran off stage, and then the other 3 members just carried on the song, just started jamming. And then it wasn't the song anymore. It was just a guitar solo. And at first it was like, oh, this is quite cool. Bit of a guitar solo. Then it went on for 15 minutes. Like, and to the point where the audience are going, is the singer okay? Like, is he ill? Does he need a shit? You know? But no, he came back in a different costume. He had like 6 costume changes. And while he did a costume change, they just whack out a guitar solo. And afterwards, I was on Reddit, like, was this just like how they do it? And everyone's like, yeah, this is what they do. It's about an hour and a half of jamming and an hour of songs, which is mental, you know.
Did you feel... How did that make you feel?
Did I feel cheated? Yes, I did. Because there was a lot of songs that they didn't play. And I thought, my God, you know, if he'd have just stayed in the same clothes, we'd have got to hear all the hits. But instead, no, we didn't. But when they played a song, it was great. But when it was guitar solos, it was a bit like, oh, here we go. And you could feel the audience starting to be like, all right, I'm bored now. You know, there was a general sense of boredom. That was night 1.
Okay.
Night 2, Wednesday, went to see... No, I didn't go to see. I was playing with Ren.
Sorry, are you reading these?
Sorry, no, I was checking my timer because I was like, I've only done one day. And I was like, and I felt like I banged on too much. Went to see Ren. Went to play with Ren. Fucking hell. Played with Ren at the Troubadour. Nice little venue in London. And yeah, just a fun gig. The headline act, if you can call him a headline act, got a bit arsey with the sound man. And I was like, oh, it's about to kick off. Because they're all, I don't know, it was a bit weird. Like, their attitude towards the sound man. I was like, I'm on the sound man's side here. So the guitarist couldn't hear his guitar through his in-ears, so he turned up his amp on stage, just cranked it up, and the sound man was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I couldn't hear my guitar. He's like, I'll get to you. What's this? And then the singer... Is
that in sound check?
Yeah, this is in sound check. Yeah. And then the singer was just being arsey with him as well, and I was like, oh, shit, is he a bit of a, I don't know, a knobhead sound man? But no, it was them.
It was a knobhead band.
It was a knobhead band, and I won't say who it was. But the gig was fun. My brother came down, as did Tom Jenkinson, which was nice because I never have anyone come down to my gigs. So that was nice. Then after that, this is where it gets fun. I went and stayed in a Premier Inn like a little rock star. And I'll tell you for why. The next morning, I had a training day at this potential new job. I was sort of just scoping it out, seeing what it's about. How much have I told you about this job, if anything?
You were harassing some guy you knew who worked in telly.
Yeah.
Is it this?
Yeah, it's this
and
one.
You just sort of were like, oh, there's a little avenue to be pursued.
It's pretty much that. So it is, what you're doing is the graphics and the replays and everything for League 1 and 2 and some championship football games.
Okay,
if you're watching League One or League Two, all the games are done by this group of, this company. And it was really cool. You get to see how they do the replays. You get to see how they put the graphics on the screen and stuff like that. There's a lot to remember. Basically.
Is this for like live, or is this for highlights?
So
live. Okay.
Well, it's live and highlights. So the way you do it is
So when someone scores, you got to press the one goal button.
Yeah, all that, and it was quite cool because the training day obviously
just pop it up to 7 for a laugh, and then put it back down. Nah, only joking. It's only 1-0, not 7-0.
The amount of power you feel. So I'll get to Saturday in a bit, but Saturday I had to help someone do a live game, and I was doing the scores on, I think it was Blackpool versus someone. And it was just like, oh my God, this power. You choose when the...
unofficially, it was 14-12.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's not like you choose when kickoff is, but it's sort of like it is whenever you press the kickoff button. So I'm like, if it's a few seconds later, I'm like, that's because of me. But I was thinking about like Premier League games. I'm like, God, that must feel powerful, having millions watching and be like, oh, because
I thought for a split second you might have said they got you in the VAR room.
No, that would have been cool. That would have been cool. I'll tell you what was good though. I'll jump ahead to
George,
Saturday.
Was that a goal when you're just there charting out a new song? Sorry, I wasn't looking. That's why. That's why.
So, well, I'll tell you about Thursday and Saturday in one go because it was sort of the same. So Thursday was training day, and then Saturday I had to do a shadowing shift with my friend Ruben. But so you do the match, and it's you basically just get raw camera footage live, and then you do the replays as they come. You just basically you can kind of see when a chance is going to happen. So you're like, oh, get ready and replay. But then as it's going on, you're making like a highlight reel for the end. So you have to make a 10-minute highlight reel and a 2-minute highlight reel. And then this was the cool bit. Then you go, it was all quite cool to see it. It was like that episode of Peep Show where Jeremy gets an office job. He's like, oh my God, I'm inside the beast mark or whatever. So once you've done your highlight reel, you have to then go and find a commentator who's been watching your game. And they just sit and watch like 5 games throughout the afternoon. And then you tell them, oh, by the way, there was 4 goals and there was this and that, watch out for this. And then you watch them do the commentary. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So a man sits down with like a football mic, watching the highlight reel and goes, and today we've got Blackpool versus Norwich. And then it's just like, oh my God, he's the guy, So that was quite cool. But, I don't know. It's not a proper job.
So he records a separate commentary for the highlights reel.
So he's the what do you mean?
Or does he just do an announcement of what the highlights are?
No, he records over the highlight reel and just sort of says what's. Yeah, it is separate. It's separate commentary. Yeah, as in separate to the match. You mean? As in so it's separate. But it was cool. You're like, oh fucking hell, that's a commentator. He's I wonder where did he get that voice? Are you born with the voice, or do you have to?
I think it's like music helps if you've got some natural stuff, but then you have to improve on it with hard work.
This is it, yeah.
So I imagine they do, whilst people have a good voice, they will refine it. But as well, they got because I sometimes play 5-a-side with a commentator.
Yeah.
He doesn't commentate on match. He plays, but he's been on Match of the Day and stuff, commentating. And Gary Lineker goes commentary with Chris Wise, and then it's like, oh, saw him on Wednesday playing football. I love that. But I heard, like a while ago, that there were suspicions kicking round that commentary on highlights on Match of the Day were done post game. So they weren't the commentary taken from the actual match.
No, it's not. So it's
it's interesting though, because that's been denied. By Match of the Day. Now maybe they don't do it for Premier League, if you see what I mean.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not.
But because there's so many Championship and League 1 and League 2 games.
Yeah.
Like it would just be insane.
Yeah.
So they have commentators actually commentating the match for radio, all that sort of stuff. And then chumps like you will just go, yeah, scored a goal, cheers.
Yep.
And then, or
Yep.
Billy, come and just say this. And then,
Pretty much.
I think you should try and do
Yeah,
one
well,
just for a laugh and like sneak it in
I'd love
and be
to do
like,
one.
and they go, George, has Thingy done the commentary for Bolton, Ipswich?
Yeah.
And you go, yep,
Yeah.
but you've done it. Or
Yeah.
get me to do it.
Oh, that'd be great. We
Yeah.
could both do it. We could just
Yeah.
do the pod.
Welcome to the Championship highlights.
Yeah.
Bolton vs Norwich, sponsored by Drum and Drummer. Like that, I could
Just
is
do
that
10
when you
minutes
just start,
drum and drummer
you know.
banter. We could just put
And then
like,
just-
yeah. Over
or I'm
the
just thinking of
highlights.
Partridge. Shit,
Yeah. Did you see that?
Striker,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Christ. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
So how long are you doing that?
I
What,
can't
what's
say.
how long are you doing that for?
what's
On
the
a
get in
like,
and get out time?
Yeah. What's,
Cool. Right, I'll give you, because it is interesting. So call time, as it's called, is 12 midday for a 3 p.m. game. And then, you know, if it's 7 kickoff, it's 4. It's basically 3 hours before. And what you do is you get in and you literally call the cameraman, and the cameraman's like, what do you think of the feed? And you're like, yeah, it looks good. I can see the pitch, you know. But actually, on the game I shadowed, it was all fuzzy and it was a bit blurry, so we had to like sort it out. And then the cameraman gives the lens a wipe and stuff. But then after that, it's like 3 hours till kickoff, so you kind of just sort of wait and just, you know, sort of wandered about a bit, got a coffee. You have to get your graphics set up and your adverts ready to play. But it's quite cool because you get given this sheet and it'll be like,
slip the Drum and Drummer logo in there.
yeah, yeah, literally, yeah,
In the top right corner.
because
You know when it flashes up in a pub with like a pint and it's like proof that it's an official Sky Sports feed.
yeah.
Just our little mugs pop up.
Honestly, if I
Or it'd be like a big like when there's a goal scored and our faces just like zoom into the front of the screen like, whee! And we go like, goal, goal.
I'd love that. It'd be amazing.
So
If
many
I
options. This is the tie-up we never
It's
dreamed
such a good
of.
tie-up. Like, because, you know, if I get into the job, I would happily do that and then lose the job. Because what are they going to do? They're just going to sack me. There's not going to be. I'm not going to go to jail.
Work your way
for
up.
putting-
Do a League Two.
Yeah,
do a League
do League
Two.
Two.
You know.
Yeah, and then just put a little drum and drummer every Thursday, 15-second ad. Be like,
And then
what
it
was
just
that?
gets a little bit more elaborate with the goal celebrations.
Yeah.
You know. And then it's like our faces like zip across the screen. Whoa, goal! With the word goal trailing behind us.
I mean, you know, I've got to get it in there somewhere. I've got to merge the two worlds somehow. But yeah, once the match starts, you're basically just on it. You know, you're like, right, okay. if
So are
there's
you
a
on
replay-
one match? Are you designated one match to
You
deal
de-
with?
Yeah, you designated one match.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a bit mad if you had
There's
to
a
do
lot of
more than-
people then because there's a lot of matches.
Yeah. It was a big room. It was like, you know, when everyone's playing, there's 40 people. You know, it's basically like a call center. You know, it's like square offices or whatever, free-walled office. You know, and yeah, but it is quite funny because I was quite not stressed but tense. Like fucking hell, I make sure I get the goals right better. You know, but I think they're so relaxed by the end. You know, they're just like, oh, it's a boring game today. You know, and they just sort of like check their texts. Right, has anything happened? No, it's all good. You know, and it's like, yeah. But anyway, that's enough about that. After that, I went to another gig Thursday night. Went to see Sammy. What was her name? Sammy Ray and Friends. Great, amazing gig at Hammersmith Apollo. Just really tight band. You know, there was like, I can't remember how many people on stage, but it was her. She's a singer, brilliant drummer, guitarist, bassist, and then like a sax player and like another horn player, keyboard player as well. But just a great gig. You ever go to a gig? I mean, I know you don't really go to gigs anymore, but you ever go to a gig and you're like, fucking hell, I can see that the band is like, oh shit, this is a good one. You know what I mean? Like after every song towards the end, the crowd went mental. Like, I haven't seen a crowd go that mad for a while. And what was nice was there wasn't that many phones either. It felt like, oh, this is how it was when I started going to gigs, not to sound like an old man. But they'd finish a song and the crowd would just cheer for like a minute. And you could see the band like, what the fuck? This is mad. Because I don't think they played in London before, and they haven't even got an album out, you know? And it was like, whoa, this is cool. You ever been to a gig like that where you're like, oh, this is... like you can tell, it's a weird specific thing to say, but I've been to a few gigs where you can see that the band are like, this is a career defining.
I definitely think you can notice when someone's quality.
Yeah.
You can be like, they're good.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's an individual or the group. I don't know. Yeah, I really haven't been to. I do remember. I tell you what, I do remember. And not just because I'm a bit, you know them a little bit now, but quite a while ago now, maybe I don't know, 5-6 years ago. I did go and see Bury Tomorrow. Invited me to a show.
Yeah.
At the Wedgeridrums, and they were headlining, and you know I'd known them for a little bit by then and helped them out a lot at the studio and stuff with storage and things and rehearsals. But like I popped down and I saw the tail end of like the subhead, you know, the top support, and it was like, and they were good, you know, they were good. Then Bury Tomorrow came on, it was like, it's a different level.
Yeah.
It really is a different level.
Yeah.
That is just, it's an absolute step up.
Yeah.
And I wonder as well, partly is that, you know, Bury Tomorrow have their own sound guys and stuff, so the way that sort of happens, and maybe the support band who were on tour with them, maybe they're using in-house, maybe the sound engineers, maybe, but it was just like, that is sharp, that is different. Yeah, just like, that is a worthy of a headline slot. Yeah.
It's weird. That's so true. Yeah, because that band were like that. The support band were fine. I was like, this is quite a good band. And then the headline band, you're like, oh shit, this is... And the same with Greta Van Fleet. They had 2 support bands. Say one good thing about Greta Van Fleet. Quick time between support bands. Oh, mama. Like, they said the show will start at 7:30. 7:10, a band walks on stage, played for 20 minutes, 10-minute gap, and then another support band. You're like, fucking hell, why can't everyone do this? But
they got eight 15-minute solos to cram in. Exactly. Can't lose one of them.
No.
Heaven forbid we only have 7.
This is it.
Yeah.
But then when they walked on stage, you're like, oh, this is the headline band. You know, it's I know what you mean. It is the
atmosphere changes as well, doesn't it?
I think it does. I think maybe that's it. The crowd.
I mean, you know, obviously that's why people are there for the most part. That's why people are there. But it's you see some people playing, you're like, oh yeah, no, they are good. Yeah. They should be here. Yeah. So that was Thursday. Friday. Oh my God! Strap yourself in for Friday. Oh, mama, got my ears sorted. Oh yeah.
Did I? Well, I don't think I sent you the picture.
No, I saw you send it to everyone else on.
I did. I know. Did you know what? And a few other people have said this to me. They've been like, "Why don't you send it to me?" I was trying to gross out people that I knew would really find it disgusting. I thought you'd be like, but I got my ears. Basically, there's a thing that the MU and ACS are doing, where if you're a member of the MU, you get a really cheap deal on in-ear molds for earplugs and a hearing test. It's basically like 38 quid for both of them. And I had a half an hour appointment, and I was thinking, that doesn't seem very long, right? And it's in Regent's Park. So this is the night after this Sammy Ray gig. I went back to Brighton. I was like, right, wake up, go to London again. Get to London, go by train this time. And I went in, and first of all, this nurse was the ear woman. We'll call her the ear woman.
I think that is her title.
That is her title. She was like, oh, you've only got half an hour appointment. Like, we won't be able to do the molds and do the hearing test. Or maybe she was like, we won't be able to clean your ears. I can't remember. And I was like, well, I would
We'll only be able to do one ear.
Yeah. Yeah. We can do the other one a bit, you know. And, she was like, and I was like, well, I kind of do want to get my ears, micro-suctioned as well, if that's cool. And she was like, well, we'll see if they need doing. And I was thinking, they'll definitely need doing. My God. So I had my ears cleaned once, and I think like 2015, I want to say. and I haven't had them cleaned since. And I'm aware that I get waxy ears, right? And yeah, she put a thing in my ear and went, yeah, that's non-negotiable. We have to do them right now. And I was like, okay, cool. She was like...
Bring in the excavator.
Yeah, literally. She near enough said, I'm going to have to cancel all my appointments. And
So when she hit a red button.
Yeah.
You know.
This is it. And so, yes. Have you ever had your ears micro-suctioned?
I haven't, no.
Oh, good.
I really should. I really should get it done.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because
I've got a little bit on my plate right now, but,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's not top of your list, micro-suctioning your ears. Because I feel like even if you're not a musician, you probably, still need them done. But we definitely need them done because we're always cramming, in-ears or whatever in.
And Lego.
Lego, yeah. So she does the left ear, and I was aware that the right ear was the worst one. And she starts doing it. By the way, it's the weirdest but nicest feeling because you can feel it coming out, but it sort of hurts. I don't know. Anyway, she gets the left one done, and I look at the table, and she puts this like black rock on the table, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I was apologizing. I'm like, I'm so sorry. That's disgusting. She's like, no, it's fine. Like, probably like gagging at the same time. It's all right. Jesus, And then I said, by the way, I think the right ear is the bad one. And she looked in and she's like, yep, yeah, that's the bad one. And she just pulled it. I felt like she was just pulling just my brain out through my ears. And then she puts it on the side and she's like, look at that. That's basically a fucking mold of your ear canal. And I was like, no, that's mental. And when she left the room, I had to take like a photo because I was like, I've got to show people. That's disgusting. But then obviously, because my ears were so disgusting, they had to book me another half an hour. And then I got sent to this other woman who had obviously been told about how grim my ears were because she was like, I heard they pulled a lot out. And I'm like, all right, who are you? They all gossiping here. Like, get a load of him. And but then she did the molds. So we put molds in. And I actually said, can I get in-ear monitors? And she said, okay, well, we'll have to do a different mold. But I was like, if it puts you out at all, then don't worry. She's like, no, it's fine. So we did that. Even that's quite nice when they pull the mold out. It's a lot of pulling things out your ears and going, oh, that was nice, And then it came to the hearing test, and I was a bit worried because I thought, I don't know, I feel like, I'm often going, what? To people. Turns out that was just because I had, lots of wax in my ears because did the hearing test and
had a head like fine. A fucking beehive.
Yeah, that's it. But it was mental though. As soon as I left that place, like everything was more crisp in sound. Like I walked under a tree.
That's probably like you liked Regent's Park.
Yeah, well, it's probably
the sounds of the leaves rustling on the ground.
There probably is an element of that,
Birds tweeting.
Yeah, I was like,
all that.
I didn't realise. Yeah, leaves
skipping along through the park.
Exactly.
Trip over, hurt your knee.
Yeah,
that's annoying.
But yeah, and honestly, even my voice sounds different. Like it's weird. And I went to work.
Did you pass the hearing test? I know it's not a fail pass.
No. Yeah, I did. Yeah, she said your hearing's completely normal in every frequency. There was one frequency on the left ear where it's like on the line between normal and I don't know, shit. And maybe not shit. Maybe like less than normal. But other than that, it was all good.
Right at the same frequency as a pair of hi-hats.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. And I did say that to her. She was like, yeah. Probably is, but she was like, also, it might not be, Yeah. She's like, I'm not a drummer, and I was like,
you went, yeah, I know.
I couldn't do what. Actually, I probably could do what she does, but yeah. So that was Friday, and then hung around in Brighton, London for a bit because my brother lives in that area. Came back, and then Saturday got up, went to London again for training day, and then when I got back from that job, I got back about 8 and then went to work at 9 p.m. for a sleep-in and a shift the next day. So it's been, a lot of London shit, but it was good, It was sort of like get it all done in a week, all my London appointments, done in a week.
Are you going to do more of the football stuff?
Well, I don't know, because it's tricky, because when you start, all the shifts you get are Saturdays.
That's
and it
when football is, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. And it works in a way because, the season ends in May. And that's when, so it's like weddings could take over. But also, I'd always pick a wedding over doing that job, because I want to play drums. I don't want to be a football replay graphics man. And today I got a gig for January on a Saturday, and I was like, even if they ask, I'm gonna have to be like, no. So I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to be like, okay, I can do that one Saturday in Feb maybe, but so we'll see. But it'll be cool. Be a cool thing to do, but at the same time, it's like, if it is going to be Saturdays, then maybe it won't be cool. But how long we've been going? I feel like
about half an hour, mate. I think
did that distract you at least?
It did, mate. Yeah, thank you very much. So I know I haven't really spoken to you this last week properly off air.
No.
And at some point, I'm very tight for time, just so much to sort of do. And I am working tonight. I've got bands in very soon, but at some point I'll give you a bit more of a debrief. But it's all just about each day as it comes, really, and picking what the goals are for the day, what's important, what's not, and just sort of cracking on a bit. But you gotta kind of follow your emotions, really, and if you feel like doing something, do it. If you don't, no pressure. Just gotta ride the waves, because you don't know when they're coming.
No.
So just looking ahead, I've got some stuff to sort out tomorrow, and just to make sure things tick along that need to. But if I've had a lot of messages from friends and stuff, and that's been very nice. And at some point I'll reach out back. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Because you can get a bit sick of explaining it all again, going through it every time, things like that. But yes, thanks for your. It's a good job you went to London 5 days, because you had plenty to talk about.
Yeah, because I didn't know what this podcast would be, today.
Yeah.
And but if anything, this has proved that, my God, you're like. You are invested in this pod. I mean, consistency,
Yeah, well, I think, I just got it. The thing is, it will give me something to do. Like editing this.
Yeah.
Will give me something to do, and it will take me out of the room for a couple of hours, and, I do enjoy what I do. And it's just about, at the moment, it's just about balance of... dealing with it personally, dealing it with the family, supporting my mum, and the logistics that come with something like that. But also, gotta keep other things ticking along, and it can give me a bit of a release and a bit of a you can't put everything on hold as much as. And it's just about those little distractions and purpose, I've got something to do and I need to do it, so gives you a bit of impetus to I don't know, probably waffling now, but
no, not at all. But as you said, whenever you want to chat about it, we will chat about it.
Well, definitely, let you know what happened, because it was fucking mental. But thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Reach out on the old socials or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's my band.
Perfect. Right on
Punctual. Time. But we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.